I'm putting up squash and zucchini that I've picked from my garden. So to start, I like to chop off the ends, which I then give to our chickens or our hogs that we have here on the farm. Then with my good sized squashes, I like to do smaller slices, which I will then freeze, and down the road I will pull them out to saute squash or saute squash and zucchini to go as a side for different dishes. My favorite way to put up food from the garden is my FoodSaver. I'm able to vacuum seal all of the food very easily, and it lasts forever and it tastes great. We have a freezer down in the basement dedicated pretty much to just everything we harvest and freeze from the garden. This is pretty much the only way I've ever put up food from the garden. It's the same way that my mom did it when I was a kid, so FoodSaver has been around in my family for 2 generations now. I love that it vacuum seals so nicely that I'm able to cut the bags to the size that I want, so I can plan for, okay, I might use this bag, say, around Thanksgiving, so I need to add extra squash to it. And I can do that very easily, and it's very cost efficient. Now, some of the squash in my garden I will not use to saute for different side dishes later on. Some of them are just too big. You can tell with this one, it got away from me in the garden. The skin is going to be a little bit tougher to it, but it's still a good squash and it's very nice. So what I like to do with these types of squash is actually just cut them up into chunks. And I love to use these ones in my squash casserole recipe, which you can find on my blog, steigerfamilyfarms.com. Now I am hooking up my favorite KitchenAid attachment, the grater. I use this all the time for shredding cheese because it's so easy and quick, but I especially love this to grate zucchini that I harvest from the garden. Zucchini explodes overnight, it seems. One day it's just so tiny, and then the next day it's like a whole 2-foot long zucchini. It gets super thick. So when that happens, I like to shred it up for zucchini bread or muffins or even brownies. My daughter absolutely loves some zucchini brownies. So this one, as you can see, got really big, so I elected to go ahead and shred this one. I'm able to just toss it into the shredder with the KitchenAid attachment, and it does all of the hard work for me, which I'm so thankful for. Now, zucchini is one of the harder things to actually put up using a FoodSaver once you shred it, because all of those juices that it has starts to come out. So what I like to do is first wrap it up in a tea towel and just squeeze out as much of the juice as possible. Now, you'll still have plenty of juices and the moisture content later on when you thaw it out to bake with it, but just getting some of that juice out to start with helps you be able to freeze it easier without it getting freezer burnt. The next thing I like to do is spread it out on a cookie sheet, and I will actually set this in the freezer just to kind of start to seal up some of those juices before I put it in the FoodSaver bags to vacuum seal it. Snapping green beans from the garden. These I picked over the course of the last week, so some of them have kind of withered away because it was a busy week and haven't gotten to it yet. So some of them our animals will just enjoy, but most of them are still pretty good. So not getting quite as many in this bowl that I wanted to, but that's alright. This is our very first real picking of green beans. Everything has kind of gotten off to a slow start, but with how far north we live, it's pretty normal. But growing up on the coast in Virginia, I was so used to getting green beans much earlier. My mom always had a huge garden and we picked a lot of green beans over the years. So this just takes me back to my childhood. Green beans are one of my favorite things to pick from the garden. They're one of the easier things to put up as well. I tend to just rinse them, let them dry really good, snap them. A lot of the times I'll just take off the ends and put them in long. But since these ones are kind of like, there's some that are a little withered and everything, I am snapping them in half or in quarters, depending on how big it is. So it just helps with the taste and the texture. When I get the good ones, I will just snap off just the ends. But for today, this is how we're doing it. I'll have more green beans to pick tomorrow. Once they start to come into season, I pick about every other day. So, and I planted a whole extra row of green beans this year, so hopefully I will still get a good crop, even though our weather has been super rainy at the beginning of spring and then no rain. I think we've gotten like a week of rain in the last month, and that's about it. So, in our garden where our green beans are out at the cows, so I am not the best at watering it. I really should. But I just kind of let nature do its thing out there. And it's just, it's not on our property, it's not at the house. So our house garden, I'm able to water every evening after Shelby goes to bed and everything's doing quite well in it. There I have, or at our house, I have most of our like, squash plants and everything. And so our tomatoes, the really important stuff I am watering. But our green bean plants and everything are out at the cow garden. So they're just kind of left to Mother Nature. So if I were to water them, I would probably start getting a better yield. But it's just one more thing to do out there, and we gotta take care of the chickens, and we gotta take care of cows, and a lot of times Shelby is hot and done. And I hate watering the garden in the middle of the day or when it's already getting warm, so I tend to just say, well, they'll be okay. Should we get a brownie? Here, let's put it on the table. Yeah. Are you gonna climb up there? You climb up. Yeah. They're good, aren't they? You want Mama to cut it up?
Yeah, me too.
Yeah. Oh, is that the bread container? Hey now. Beautiful. That's good brownie. Do you want a fork? Yeah, there you go. You can cut it up.
Mommy?
Yes, Mommy. Yeah, I'm gonna come sit with you.
Daddy?
Daddy should be home with the tractor soon. Yeah. Are you gonna ride on the tractor? That one? Yeah, we picked all of these ones, huh? Almost. I've almost snapped them all. Yeah. Do you think we should give these scraps to the chickens? Yeah. Oh, and the pigs should have some too? Yeah. We have lots of scraps to distribute today. Maybe we should take some to the cows. It'd be a special treat for them.
No.
No. For the piggies.
And tasty.
And chickens. Okay.
I finished by putting all these in FoodSaver bags and freezing them. Make sure to subscribe to continue following along with our homestead.